Can you explain quickly seed oils? Because Dr. Kate Shanahan, she came on the show. They are the Hateful Eight: canola, soybean, corn, sunflower, safflower, grapeseed, rice bran, and cottonseed oils. Good oils would include avocado, coconut. What else?
Olive oil, coconut,
olive, right,
avocado, and then things like ghee and beef tallow, duck fat, things like that. Things that are much more natural and have been less refined. These are fats that our bodies have evolved to eat over millennia. The issue with seed oils, which is one of the most controversial topics right now in the world, for whether they're healthy or not, I think you've got to back up a little bit and realize a couple things. One, that this is now the predominant source of calories in the American diet is these seed oils that are in everything. They are in every processed food. They're in salad
so
dressings,
hard to find food without
marinades.
them.
You can barely go to Whole Foods and find a food without seed oils anymore.
Oh, I was complaining last Friday. I had on Dr. Martin McCary, and I was saying, okay, we want to get nuts, just healthy nuts for the kids to snack on, right? So you go, good luck finding a nut. The only ones you can find is maybe pistachios and macadamia nuts that haven't been treated with canola oil. And the kids, they don't want the raw nuts. They want something that's been like a little like flavored. But I have been able to find macadamia nuts and pistachios that say ingredients: nuts and salt. That's it. But everything else, canola.
Always. And it's devastating to see like what's even happened to Whole Foods. You know, the integrity and the standards of what they used to consider healthy have slipped so much, where 9 of the 10 things I pick up at a Whole Foods these days have too much sugar, seed oils, or they're not organic. So it's unfortunate. But so these seed oils have burst onto the scene, and many of them were actually created in the wake of Rockefeller's work with oil refining, as essentially they needed something to do with some of the byproducts of the oil refining. And so in a sense, we're kind of eating like an engine lubricant when we eat these seed oils. And they are not foods that we had 150, 200 years ago. They're brand new, and they're highly concentrated and rich for omega-6 fats, which are pro-inflammatory. They get incorporated rapidly into our cell membranes and have an impact on how our cells function. They outcompete other healthier forms of fat for places in our cell membrane. So they're actually changing really the structural integrity of our body. And I think, we have to take into account the fact that these are generally stored in clear plastic bottles, that plastic can, anything that's stored in a thin plastic bottle, like a vegetable oil or canola oil, can have those microplastics leaching into it. You often see avocado oil or olive oil in a glass bottle, but these seed oils are almost always in a plastic bottle, clear plastic bottle, so that light is getting in, it's oxidizing the oils so that can make them more damaging. And they're just the majority of fats we're eating, and they're devoid of really any nutritional value. I think if you really want to lose your lunch, you should Google a video of how canola oil is made. How is olive oil or avocado?
We did it because I heard you say that. And so we have at least one. Here is a little look at how they make the very natural canola oil. Watch.
It's the flakes into a screw press. It has a large revolving screw-shaped shaft enclosed within a slotted cage. As the shaft turns, its threads squeeze the flakes with high pressure, forcing out the oil, which then drains out through the slots. A 70-minute wash with a solvent. This chemical extraction process removes all but a trace of oil. So the next step is to cool the oil to 5 degrees Celsius. This thickens those waxes so they can be filtered out. The waxes don't go to waste either.
Gross.
The factory uses them
Listening
to
audience,
produce
you've got
vegetable
to go to
shortening.
youtube.com and
After
watch this.
washing and filtering the oil, they bleach it to lighten the color. Then use a steam injection heating process to remove the canola odor. The oil is now fully refined and ready for bottling.
For the listening audience, it looks like they put that through a car engine. That's really what it reminded me of. Putting it through a car engine and then feeding it to you.
I don't want that in my body. And then on top of that, you do have to think about the bigger picture environmental impact, because these are, again, taxpayer-funded commodity crops that are covered in glyphosate and pesticides, which are hormone disruptors. And so you're essentially, by buying that oil and using it, we're also promoting a system that's driving this monoculture that's destroying the soil in our country and will probably lead to some type of food collapse in the future because of what we're doing to our soil. And so much of that land is being used to grow this stuff that's just going into seed oils. It takes like
I'm just having my aha moment here on how kids are going into early puberty and the sperm count is going down and girls are having PCOS more than ever. Even if you have a household that's feeding them vegetables and fruits, unless you're eliminating seed oils, they're getting the pesticides that you just listed, that glucosidase, whatever it is. That way, they're coming in through what's in your pantry. And this stuff could be leading to a lot of that, no?
There's three things that we really need to be thinking about when we're talking about hormone disruption that is rampant right now. Like you said, I mean, a devastating statistic is that early onset puberty is now becoming like epidemic in our country. American girls are starting puberty years earlier than any other continent in the world. And it has declined about 6 years, the onset of puberty in the past 100 years. And we're also seeing a huge rise in hormone-driven cancers, like breast cancer, which is an estrogen-driven cancer. On top of that, we're seeing a sustained decline in sperm count and a sustained decline in total fertility rate, and women's infertility, the leading cause of which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, is skyrocketing. So across the hormonal spectrum, we are being destroyed and devastated. I mean, I'm 36 years old. I cannot have a conversation with friends in my age group without the topic of infertility or IVF or egg freezing coming up. So we have to back up and say, what the hell is going on? Two of the big factors I think we need to be investigating are both pesticides and plastics. So, plastic is everywhere. Plastic is ubiquitous. It's literally in every single thing. Our sheets are made of polyester. Our clothes are made of polyester. Every bottle in our home is made of plastic. All our food containers are plastic. Plastics are now in our air, nanoparticularized plastics in our air. It's in our water supply. It's on our food. It's in our homes. We're covered in it. And plastics and pesticides can disrupt estrogen receptor signaling, act as xenoestrogens, which essentially create a proestrogenic environment in our bodies. And other pesticides like atrazine, which is illegal overseas, but which we use about 70 million pounds of in our country each year, can actually convert testosterone to estrogen. And so, just as a real wake-up call to people, we talk about, does organic matter? It's like these chemicals that are invisible and are on our food can convert testosterone to estrogen. So why would we not be worried about that when all of these hormone-related issues are skyrocketing in our culture? So one of the easiest things that I think we can do to clean things up is to just, we got to filter our water. We should avoid pesticides on our foods, and we should really try and minimize the amount of plastic that's in our homes and on our foods and things like that.